Welcome everyone this afternoon to our webinar, 20 Reasons to Consider George Brown College's PLC Technician Programs. We're going to introduce you to what we believe to be the most important features and benefits of our program and trying to address along the way the common questions that we get asked around those characteristics. So we got a lot to cover, so let's get started. My name is Scott Duncan. I'm the Business Development Manager here at the George Brown College Distance Education Department. And presenting with me today is Geet Amin. Say hello, Geet.
Hello, everyone. My name is Geet. I'm the Senior Technical Consultant at the college. If you enroll into one of the PLC programs, there's a good chance you'll be talking to me or one of the team members from the support advisor team.
Great, thank you. And you've been hearing from Iris as we've been leading up to our start here. Iris is monitoring chat and kind of helping organize things in the background. She'll be answering questions as we go in chat and then helping us coordinate any unanswered questions as a group at the end of the session. We've also got Ashley in the background who is monitoring our audio and video and PowerPoint presentations and doing some of the technical stuff to keep us on track and make sure everything's working properly. So what's our agenda today? Well, here's our plan. We're going to take about 20 minutes and run through a fairly pointed presentation. Then we'll open up for Q&A. Often our Q&As run beyond the 10 minutes. We've had many go 20, 30 minutes longer, and we will answer your questions as long as they're coming at us once we're through that session. As many of you have already figured out, hi Carlos, thank you for that. Hello. We are running chat parallel to the session. If you haven't found chat yet, there's a purple button on your Collaborate interface. Click the purple button and that will open up the chat or the control interface, and then hit the bubble, and that's where you'll see chat, and that's where you can engage with us and chat with Iris as we go through the session. We really welcome your engagement through the chat. We've learned over the years that the best way for us to do this is for you to hear us and see the presentation. That's the best way to get it organized and to coordinate it and keep it efficient. So we're going to try that one more time this session. Just one administrative thing: we are recording the session. We do that to make it available to people who can't make it to today's live event. So we'll be distributing that as well as follow-up notes and other details after the fact to any of the attendees and people who signed up but didn't make it to the session. So let's plunge in to our top 20 reasons for considering the George Brown College PLC programs. So right off the top, the most important element that we believe to be of highest interest to most of our prospective students and then registered students is this concept that we provide a really unique option of a distance education-based, computer-based, self-paced learning model. And really what that all means is you can work on the computer and study through the program on your own time. Wherever you are, there's no demanded interaction of you. There's no deadlines for completion. The work is all built into the curriculum, into the program, and it allows you to work through it at your pace. Some well-qualified people work their way through the program in a very short period of time. We've seen 10 weeks, and we've also seen 5 years in a couple of cases where people have had to take a sabbatical for different reasons, take a break, and then come back at it and finish at a later point. So that's all part of the flexibility that's built in. The second big reason we think that people like us and consider our programs is because of the reputation that we have in the marketplace. We are a fully accredited Ontario community college overseen by the ministry. We have multiple campuses in Toronto. We have roughly, I think it's 12,000 full-time students, and we have about 60,000 part-time certificates and diplomas and part-time and distance ed degrees, making us one of the largest providers of distance education-based programs in the country. We also have a bunch of articulation agreements with universities and colleges, and we have 8 partners that work with us because of our reputation and who extend our reputation into their markets, where we work together to promote our programs in the U.S. Once you finish the program, you're going to get a certificate of completion. You're going to get CEUs as an output of the program. So there's all those very valuable components that make us reliable, respectable, and of accredited nature. The requirements to enter the program, again, is one of those core concepts of why people are really interested in us and find value in us. Our entry requirements are pretty modest. We get the question, do I have the requirements um, that you need for me to get into the program? And the answer is often, most often the case, yes, because we've got some fairly simple requirements in terms of high school diploma. You need some of the math, and you just need some of that experience. And if you don't have that, you need at least mature student status. And our definition of that is someone who's been out of school and working for 1 to 2 years. So most people working in manufacturing and industry, who are typically the people who are interested in our programs, certainly meet those criteria. Our typical student is probably older, 30 plus years old, working in manufacturing and industry, looking for an opportunity to upgrade their skills and to expand their theoretical knowledge of these of the topics, and their ability to troubleshoot and work with the machines that they're seeing in the workplace. Number 4, really important to our program and its great success, are the very flexible registrations flexible registration options that we have. Going back to school can be really intimidating for a lot of people for good reasons, and it can be complicated. We feel like we've tried to make that as really simple and straightforward as possible, giving giving you the option to register into the program into one module, test it out, experiment with it, and make sure it works for you. Or if you're fully committed to going at the whole certificate right out of the box, then you can sign up for the whole program and make your life a little easier, that you don't have to constantly be registering for modules. That registration process, which is often complicated, is made simple by our approach. We've been doing this for lots of years now, and I think we've got a pretty good and easy system. You can register online. Very simply, go to our website, plctechnician.com, and work your way through the registration information on pages there. Or if you want to call us, we're here. We have a call center that's open from 9 in the morning until 10 at night, Monday through Fridays, and on the weekends, 9 to 5. We always have somebody here for you to talk to, so we make it really easy for you to register if that's what you've decided to do. We could also work well with companies. A lot of our prospective students, a lot of you are likely working, and you may be looking at a situation where you're going to rely on your company for tuition payment or possibly tuition reimbursement. We've worked with every possible scenario you could imagine down those those pathways. So we're very comfortable working with companies any way that they are comfortable supporting you, paying for registrations, working with you to be successful in the program. So we can also talk to your HR people or your purchasing people or your manager if that's something that would be useful to you to find out more information and then to get registered. Number 6, the reason, of course, price is an issue. People want to make sure they're getting good value, and we feel like we offer excellent value. We have a very low cost of entry into the program, programs, PLC 1 and 2 for $440. That gives you the curriculum, registers you into the first module. And then you can move through the rest of the program, $70 a module. Of course, as I said before, you can register for the whole program all at once. And to make it easier, you can also get some additional resources. You can buy an additional reference text that we have that's very good and really well aligned with the program. It's all very low cost and very flexible to make it easy for you to, once you've decided to access that material. So how does that all fit into the big picture? How does it stack up against the other options that you're looking at? Well, our price and our value that we offer is, we think, very, very competitive with your other options. The total cost of our program is around $1,700. The average completion, is between 6 to 8 months, sometimes faster, sometimes longer. Compare that to a typical college diploma, where where you're paying up to that $7,000 over that period, and right up to a university degree, where you might pay up to $50,000 for the programs, and coming out obviously with a very different outcome. I want to be clear about that. We're not comparable to the outcomes you get in either a diploma or a university BSc. But if what you're looking for are skills and knowledge and employability, our option is very, very valid. And as we'll talk about more, many of our students have been very successful with that. How am I doing on time? Not too bad. Let's see. One great reason people love our program is that it's really well packaged all into one manageable and convenient and efficient package. One simple download will give you the curriculum and the simulation, including simulation software. That's the theory and application, and animations and video and audio, all that good stuff. And then there's a additional online learning resource center. You do your exams there. You can access forums there, but it's all available in this really nicely integrated package that you can easily get to begin working with right away once you're registered. Convenient exams, I think, are a primary consideration for people. People want to know how they verify their mastery of the content and how they prove that, and then graduate through the program eventually. Well, we do it by an online exam system. You take those exams at your leisure. You can take them at any time in the day. They're done remotely. There's even practice exams to prepare you for them that show you the model and give you a look and feel of what it's going to be like. We have a FAQ and FAQ that makes it easy, and our support people obviously can also help you if you're getting oriented to exams. You need a 60% pass. You got to pass 19 modules, all that good stuff. You get through them and you graduate. And once you've graduated, what's next? Well, an established pathway to a higher level of education is also available, and many people are thinking about that as they consider us, and that's why we've built this into the programs. You can go forward with one of our partners, Newman University, based on your successful PLC diploma, and work towards a BSc in Organizational Studies from Newman, which is in Ashton, Pennsylvania. Okay, that brings us up to the hardware requirements. Geet, we're going to hand this over to you and carry us forward through some of the more technical things.
Thank you, Scott. Yep, thank you so much, Scott. That was some amazing information about the PLC program. Hello again, everyone. For anyone who joined in late to our session today, I would introduce myself again. My name is Geet. I work as a senior technical consultant at the college. Today I'll walk you through some of the technical aspects of the PLC program, starting with the hardware requirement. So as we can see on the screen, a very simple computer with 1 GB of RAM, 250 MB of free hard disk space is more than enough to run the PLC software. One of the reasons why PLC programs are so popular is that you don't need a high-end graphics-oriented computer to run the curriculum as well as the simulation software. the PLC Logix 500 and PLC Logix 5000, those are the simulation programs that comes along with the software. They are rather CPU intensive and not graphics intensive, which means that students will not have to purchase a computer with an expensive dedicated graphics card. So as long as you have a computer with a decent CPU, such as Intel i5 or i7, or if you want to go the AMD route, AMD Ryzen 5 or Ryzen 7, they are good enough to run our 3D simulation software, and they'll work like a charm. However, there is one basic requirement, which is that you'll need a computer with Windows operating system. Our programs are strictly based on Windows, so unfortunately, they would not work on Mac OS, Linux, or Chrome operating system. They would only work on Windows. As Scott mentioned earlier, both our PLC technician programs are now offered in a web-based format, which obviously requires an internet connection to access the curriculum. However, the simulation software is installed locally, so that you won't need internet connection to use the simulation tool to practice ladder logic programming. And you will also need an internet connection to do your online exams, which are done at the end of each module. But otherwise, very minimal hardware requirements, no high-end graphics card or a fancy computer required to run the PLC programs. Okay, let's move on to the next reason. Here we're looking at we understand that student support is very important for a technical training program like PLC. So if you're ever stuck on a math question or a lab project, or say if you're working on a PLC programming example and you have trouble understanding the logic behind that lab project that you're working on, please do not hesitate to contact us at the support center. We have a great team of support advisors who can help you out with any kind of question you have. There is also a technical support option available for the students, where we can help you to install the software on your computer, or if you're experiencing some kind of error message or a conflict, we can help you to troubleshoot that issue as well. For any such technical or tutorial questions that may arise, you can reach us at the support center by phone, by email, or use one of our online student forums. So there are many ways you can contact us. We have a dedicated toll-free support line. It is toll-free for North America, which our students can use to phone in for any kind of technical or tutorial questions. We can also be contacted by email if you would like to submit your question, any math question or a tutorial query by email. And we also have a technical and tutorial student forum available in the Student Resource Center area, where students can interact with other students enrolled in the same program, or you can ask a question directly to the tutorial advisor. Now, this forum, we've been running it for many years now, which means that there are tons of questions already posted on the student forum by the students in the past, and they are answered by our advisors. So if there's a good chance that the question that you are looking for, you will find it posted on the forum with its answer. So it is very helpful, not just to ask the questions, but also as a resource center where you can go in and find different kind of challenging questions that were posted by other students in the past. As we can see on the screen, our support center is open extended hours, which means for someone who is working full time during the day, we have this extended hours Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. until 10 p.m. in the evening, and on weekends, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to accommodate people working during the day, weekdays, because we have considerable number of students, who work full time, and they study in the evening and on weekends. So we want to be available when they are studying. If they have any questions or if they experience any issues with taking exams or anything else, they can always contact us and reach us at the support center. Moving on to the next, thank you, Scott. So here we are looking at the broad coverage of content in the PLC and PLC2 technician programs. Now, the content that we're looking at on the screen is taken from the PLC2. There are 19 modules covered in each PLC and PLC2 programs. So it's same amount of modules in both the programs, but there are about 7 modules similar between the two programs. So if you take PLC Technician 1 first, and then you decide to enroll into PLC Technician 2 program as well, you will get credit for about 7 modules on the PLC2 program, which means you will not have to pay for the full course when you register into the second program. Now, there are more than 250 pre-made or pre-built lab projects on the program, which you will go through when you go through all these modules one by one. This lab projects will help you to learn the ladder logic programming using the industry standard simulation software that we have. You will receive it with the PLC technician program. We'll talk more about the simulation software in a bit in coming slides, but right now, all these modules, like each module covers in-depth theory and practical examples. So it's not just about the theory, but there are so many practical examples to support the theory that you learn in the modules. And there are review questions at the end of every section in the module. There are practice exams. There are troubleshooting practical programming examples available in each module, so which will prepare you very well for your online exam. So you don't have to worry about how you will do on the online exam. We have practice exams that follows the same format as the online exam, which will help you um, um, learn how to answer questions on the online exam. And as I mentioned earlier, you have to do an exam at the end of each module. So once you finish all 19 online exams, you will be considered as a graduate, and you will get a PLC technician certificate from the college. Now, we keep our course curriculum um, up to date with the technological advancement in the field of PLC. So the topics covered in the PLC program, such as PLC cybersecurity, which is in demand these days a lot. With the number of malware attacks increasing these days. We cover topics on cybersecurity, add-on instructions. We cover topics such as SCADA security as well, PIDs. And so all that is covered in the advanced PLC2 program. So you will be learning the most up-to-date content when you go through the course curriculum that we offer. Moving on to the next slide. Thank you, Scott. And this is a short video. If you don't mind to play the video as well. There we go. Thank you. So this is in fact the biggest reason why people consider our PLC programs. We all can agree that for a program such as PLC, it is very important to have hands-on practical experience. Now, one way to receive this is if you take one of the in-class program, you will get to practice your ladder logic programming using a physical PLC. But what we offer is we offer this industry standard simulation software, which emulates the functionality of RS Logix 500 and Studio 5000 from Rockwell. So this short video we're looking at on the screen, it's showing you 11 different 3D worlds. So 3D worlds are the manufacturing environments. We just call them 3D worlds, but they are manufacturing environments that you will learn to program and control using a ladder logic program on the simulation software. Now, both our PLC programs, they focus on Allen Bradley PLCs. So PLC1 covers the older generation of Allen Bradley, which is SLC 500. And the simulation software for PLC1 is based on RS Logix 500, while the PLC Technician 2 program is the advanced level program, which covers the newer generation of PLC from Allen Bradley, and the simulation software used in PLC2 is based on RS Logix 5000, or you can say Studio 5000 as it is been called these days. Both PLC programs will teach you ladder logic programming very thoroughly. And once you graduate from the program, you will know the inside out of ladder logic programming. If we can go to the next slide. Thank you, Scott. So these are the 11 different 3D worlds that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. As you can see, they are all very popular manufacturing environments that you will be learning in this PLC 1 and 2 programs. Both the simulation tools, it comes with this 3D worlds. Throughout the course, when you go through different modules, you'll come across more than 250 pre-built ladder programs in form of lab projects or practical programming examples, which will teach you how to program, troubleshoot, and control this 3D worlds using a ladder program. So this is what makes our PLC technician programs very unique. You'll be presented with troubleshooting practical programming examples, which will ask you to modify your ladder program to make certain changes on this manufacturing environment. So let's take a look at one in detail. So if we go to the next one, yeah, thank you, Scott. So here we're looking at the stationary car, which is one of the 11 3D worlds we just looked at. Here we can see the ladder program in the background. It's a little bit blurry. Not sure if you can see the ladder program clearly or not, but here we can see that the ladder program is used to control the timing of the car wash, the different wash cycles, the door open close sequence, etc. is all controlled by the ladder program. So it's very interactive in a way that any changes you make on the ladder program, you will see it reflected on the 3D world. So this is just one example out of many programming examples and troubleshooting exercises you'll come across throughout the course, which will teach you ladder logic programming using real world examples. When you register for a PLC or PLC2 program, you'll receive this simulation software with a lifetime license. So even after you graduate from the programs, you can continue to use the simulation tools to practice ladder logic programming and enhance your skills and learn and make it faster at the troubleshooting skills. Okay, I think that's it from my side. I will now pass it back to Scott, who will give you more information about these programs. Scott.
Thank you, Geet. Both Geet and I have been a bit long-winded today. We apologize. So we're going to try and bring it in for a landing, and then get to some of your questions, which are really, really important to us. Just a few more points for me to wrap up on. Our program can have a dramatic effect on students' career prospects. How so? Well, at the end of the program, you get your certificate, you get CEUs from GBC, you have PLC simulator experience in programming in ladder logics, lots of different environmental settings, as you just saw in the 3D worlds. But maybe the most important piece of the puzzle is the knowledge and the confidence that you come out of this program with, to be able to step into your environment more authoritatively and assert your ideas and work on equipment that you've got there in the workplace. What does that mean in terms of your career, and where might that go? Well, we've identified from pay scale pay ranges for PLC technicians and control automation technicians. Those are starting salaries. Obviously, that's a good solid foundation, and there's lots of room to move forward to more senior positions once you establish yourself in this field. One of the reasons I think I want you to consider and to look closely into when evaluating our program is to look at the feedback that you can get from our existing students. We have a wide variety of stories from our graduates in the form of a testimonial on our websites on PLC Technician and on GBC Tech Training, where our students tell you about their experiences and how this program or programs have affected their lives and their career. I really encourage you to look at that, and I think it's one of the pieces of the puzzle that people find most useful when evaluating our program. So check that out. One thing that's very unique about our offerings here is the different levels of program and addressing the different levels of technology. If it's a little bit confusing still in terms of what program might be best for you to consider, you've got a couple of different options. Here's a quiz online that we created to help you figure out which is the best program for you. But of course, maybe even better is give us a call, talk to our advisors. They're very knowledgeable and very experienced with these programs, and they can find out more about what you need and maybe offer a suggestion in terms of which programs fit the best. With all of that said, let's move to our Q&A session. Iris, let's kick it over to you. Do you have any questions that you can?
Yeah, we just got a couple questions right now. The first one is from Dean. I'm thinking about doing the automation technician course. Will it provide the same amount of training in terms of content as in the PLC 1 course? Geet, do you want to answer that one?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Iris. Hi, Dean. In terms of the coverage for PLC, well, let me take a step back. The automation technician program that we offer is a combination of electromechanical, robotics, and PLC2. So the ladder logic programming that you will be learning in automation would be tag-based programming and not related to PLC Technician 1. PLC Technician 1 is based on Allen Bradley 500 series. So if you are interested in learning PLC Technician 1, it will be best for you to enroll into PLC 1, and then you can register into automation or PLC 2, depending on your interest. But in terms of the content covered in PLC 1 is in depth. It would not be as in depth in automation, but automation is great if someone is interested in learning the robotics as well as electromechanical side of the programs too.
Okay, sorry. We have another question. Carlos, I'm not sure if it was a question or a comment, but PLC tutoring by phone. Sorry, by phone within the course is it's always nice to talk to someone who knows. And the next question is, I'll get you the link for the riddle survey shortly. And from Frederick, I'm a power line technician. Is this a good program for me? Geet, do you want to take?
Sure. Yeah. So, Frederick, it will all depend on what your interests are. We do get a lot of power line technicians register into our PLC programs, but they come with a specific task in mind. You know what they are working for a company where they see an opening to become a PLC technician, or opening in the maintenance of PLC area where they're targeting to get a promotion into, and they will come to us saying, okay, these are the kind of PLCs being used at my company. This is the kind of troubleshooting task that I have to do at my company for work, and then our program advisors are very knowledgeable. They will listen to your questions. They'll understand your need for a particular job, and then they will suggest you which program would be best fit for your situation. So what I would say is, please give us a call at the support center and talk to one of the program consultants, and they will be able to assist you best in picking the right program, because we do have other programs apart from PLC, which are electronics, electromechanical, robotics, and automation. So maybe some other program could be a best fit for you, and not PLC. And just to address that question from Carlos, yes, phone support is available. As we looked at the extended support hours, you are absolutely welcome to give us a call at the support center and speak to one of the tutorial advisor if you have any questions while you're going through the program.
Okay, we have a couple questions. One from Dane, and Dane, you might have been an electromechanical student, so was encouraged to do the electromechanical initially as a foundation prior to going under any other. Is this still the case? So I guess the question is taking other programs before going into PLC. Scott, maybe you want to address that one.
Sure. It's a little hard to understand the context without more detail, but I'll take a shot at it. So, kind of depending on where you are in your career and what your background is, having that basic electronics or electromechanical foundation, depending on how you're going to where you see yourself going, could be vital and critical to moving forward. Some people come to our programs as an electronics technician, for example, and then want to just get the PLC side of it or the robotics side to it. Some people come without any, and then the conversation with our advisors takes a different tone, because if you're really committed to a long-term career in this area, having a foundation in electronics is an excellent layer to put underneath your PLC training. So yeah, I mean, it's recommended in some situations, not necessarily all, and obviously in yours, if I think what you're saying is you talked to someone here and they did recommend that for some reasons. So I guess the question, my answer, unfortunately, is it depends on your situation. But boy, it can never hurt you to have that foundation in electronics and mechanical systems to build the PLC systems on top, and to be able to tie them all together and control them.
Okay, Laramie asked if the traffic light module, and I imagine that's the 3D world, is contained in both the PLC 1 and PLC 2 program. Geet?
Yes, absolutely. Laramie, it is, you will learn about traffic light, controlling the traffic light 3D world using the ladder logic program in both PLC 1 and PLC 2. In fact, it is covered in few different modules. If you remember remember the list of the modules that we looked at earlier, one of them was timers, counters, sequencers. So you will find this traffic light. You will find practical programming examples kind of focused on this traffic light simulator in few different modules. So in one module, it will be using the timers to control the duration of the light, that the red, green, and yellow stays on, and it will kind of give you a task that change the ladder program, change it such that this light is on for this many seconds, this light is on for that many seconds. So it is very interactive. You will see a lot of challenging questions throughout different modules, which will force you to change the ladder logic programming in a way. The more you change it, the more you practice, you'll be better at troubleshooting this kind of examples.
Scott, perhaps you could answer the next two questions. One's from Samuel, another one from Laramie. One is regarding the price of the two PLC programs. Are they the same? And the second one is, what happens when you fail an exam? Scott.
So the registration and resource materials cost for that is the same. It's $1,700 for each program. But as Geet mentioned earlier, if you take PLC 1 and then move into PLC 2, there's a bunch of stuff that you've done in PLC 2, a bunch of modules that overlap. I think there's 6 or 7, Geet, correct me if I'm wrong. And then so you don't have to pay for those because you've already completed them in the previous version. What happens when you fail an exam? So when you fail an exam, you are given the opportunity to rewrite that exam. After you contact us and touch base with us, our technical and tutorial people will give you advice, give you kind of help you troubleshoot a little bit, maybe why you didn't pass that exam, and then we reset the exam so that you can have another shot at it. If you fail it again, you can still rewrite the exam, but we do charge an administrative fee of, oh goodness, 20. Is it $20 or $30, Pete? Sorry, I've lost track of that detail.
I think it is $30. Yeah.
$30, right? So sorry. So $30 that again, you'll run through our tutorial and technical people to talk about it and to try and give you some help and direction in terms of being successful in your subsequent attempt at it, because we really don't want to see people failing them. We want to see them successfully move through it, but you do have to pass that exam. So
Right. And if I
Can I
could
just,
add one more thing to that, sorry, Iris, I was just going to say is we have practice exams at the end of each module, which will help you prepare for the online exam. And each time you load a practice exam, you'll see different questions on it. So there is very rare chance that we do see some people failing, but we don't see them failing twice and end up paying admin fee. So we do allow you to retake your exam second time for free. So most of the time, students are able to clear it within the free attempts that they have.
okay, we have another question. We have a question from Jeremy. I am a millwright looking to expand my skill set. My interest is to be able to troubleshoot systems as opposed to fully programmed systems. What might be the best route for me to take? Geet, do you want to answer this one?
Sure, thank you, Iris. Hi, Jeremy. Our programs do cover troubleshooting a lot. In fact, if you think about a PLC technician, and most of the troubleshooting that they will be working on is why. Let's take an example of a bottle line plant for maybe in a Coca-Cola manufacturing environment where the bottles are moving on the conveyor line, and certain bottles are getting filled with a certain liquid, and if there is a damaged bottle, it moves on to a different conveyor belt. So all that is controlled by the ladder program in the background. Now let's say if the damaged bottles are not being detected and they are getting filled with the liquid, that's the kind of troubleshooting a PLC technician will be required to do. And our simulation software, the challenging examples that you will learn, you will go through in different modules. They will give you those kind of scenarios. They will tell you modify this existing ladder program such that this and this can be fulfilled. So those are the kind of troubleshooting you will learn throughout the course. You're also going to learn. We have a module covered on maintenance and installation of PLCs, so you are going to learn on that as well. But most of the time, if you take PLC technician, they're 70 or 80% of the job is to make sure that the ladder logic programming they have to create from scratch, or they have to maintain the one that is already running on the systems.
Thanks, Geet. Dean asked, what if I do the automation technician course, then the PLC 2 course? Would I miss important concepts from the PLC 1 course? I'm not sure if Scott, do you want to answer that one?
Geet, why don't you
Geet?
take that? You've got a deeper knowledge of the modules themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure, I can answer that. Hi, Dean. So you can definitely do that. You can enroll into automation technician and then take the PLC 2 course. Now the only thing that you will be missing from PLC 1 is the file based or input output based programming. Now you have to understand that a few years ago when Allen Bradley introduced their PLCs, it was all file based. Now the recent Allen Bradley PLC is the 5000 series, which uses the tag based programming. So our PLC Technician 2 program, it's the advanced PLC program. So all the ladder logic programming that you'll be learning throughout the PLC 2 course, it will be tag based programming. It is more powerful and more advanced that it can control more applications. Now the concepts you will be learning in PLC2 are similar to what you'll be learning in PLC1, but the programming style in PLC1 is completely different. So if you are targeting maybe what you should do, and this is what program consultants would recommend, is you should take a look at different jobs available in your area, or different jobs that you're targeting. If those companies are using the older generation of Allen Bradley PLCs, then maybe it would be best for you to enroll into PLC Technician 1 program. But if they are using the newer generation, which is Studio 5000 emulator, then it will be best for you to take the PLC 2 program. So concept wise, you'll learn equally in both, but it will again depend on what kind of jobs that you're looking for.
That actually, the next question relates to that a bit. The question is, Is PLC 1 a prerequisite for PLC 2? Scott.
I'll jump in on that. Sure. No, it's not. As I think as Geet has described it quite effectively, they are they are focused on similar content but delivered using different technology, with some and then given the sophistication of the 5000, the Studio 5000 versus the 500 tool. Some of the content is different because of the nature of what you can do with those tools. So they're overlapping, but they are very different animals. So it is not a prerequisite. You could take two and work through that if that's the right technology for your company or the company you're looking to move into. And then maybe 6 months later, if you move to a different company that was using older technology, you could jump back and move into PLC 1, get credit for the 7 modules, and then work through the examples and the training on the 500 series approach and technology, and then be able to work with that in your company. So the short answer is no. You can take them in any order.
We have another question, and I believe it is the last question that we have posted, unless I've missed something. The last question is regarding time commitments. What are the daily, weekly time requirements to meet the average 6 to 8 month completion timeline? Scott, do you want to jump in?
Sure, I'll take that one. So this is a hard question to answer because it's not explicitly, X number of hours, because so much of what differentiates you from someone else who's looking at this program is their background. What kind of experience do you have, both in terms of your academic training, be it at college, or be it in proprietary, like training from Allen Bradley or Siemens or a robotics company, or you could have advanced training in any of those areas, and then you come to our program and you're able to move quickly through a module or a number of modules as a result of that previous training. So what we do is we say the average amount of time that it takes someone to get through a program is probably working, 10 hours a week or something like that, over the period of 32 to 34 weeks, is an average. That average is a really general number, and I'm hesitant to even use it sometimes because it doesn't necessarily apply to any one given person. But that's the general answer. It really depends on what you're bringing to the table, how many years of experience working. You may know this stuff cold because you've been a technician in your company for 5 years working on PLC installation and maintenance, but you've never actually gotten an academic credit. So you might go through it really quickly. I think that's the real differentiator. The more experience and background you have, the faster you're going to go. But on the flip side of that, you could work for 6 months and then something changes in your life and you're not able to work on the program for another 3 months, and then you get back at it and finish it in another 3 months, taking a year. So we see a wide range of results from people, and it's that flexibility that gives you the control over how long it takes you.
Scott, we do have one more question, and it's regarding, perhaps you could just talk about the pay-as-you-go and what the initial fee for that is, so how the pay-as-you-go registration option works.
Sure. So when you enter a program, you pay that initial fee to get started, and that includes the cost for the curriculum and the simulation software and the access to all of those resources. Plus, it registers you into the first module. So you launch in, you start working with the material. You complete your exam on that as according to your schedule, and then when you're ready to move on, then you can register for one more module at the cost of PLC is $70. Am I right, Keith? I think so.
That's correct.
And you can work one module at a time. Or if you all of a sudden get really motivated and think you can complete the whole program, you could register for the rest of the modules in one batch, or one at a time, or 3 at a time. It's all up to you.
And Carlos asked about tax.
Yeah, there's no tax on that. It's an educational product, so there's no tax. That's all in.
That is all the questions that we have posted, and we are well over.
Iris, I think we missed one from Jeremy. He's asking, what are the CEUs we discussed earlier? So maybe Scott, if you don't mind to answer this one.
Sure. So continuing education units is what that refers to. CEUs is a term that colleges and universities use to define a certain number of credits of a type that's different than credits that you might get if you were in a full-time university program, where people kind of understand what that means. But when it's a non-credit environment, an environment that's different than that full-time environment where they measure credits based on how many hours you sit in a classroom, it allows us to assign that. CEUs are generally accepted across many industries, professional groups, and you have to look, of course, to make sure the one you're interested in. But they are a means of declaring that you have received the training and have credits associated with that training to a certain quantitative level. I think it's 3 or 4 for a module that you can then take forward, and you can apply to a CEU requirement that maybe an association might have, for example. So I think, Iris, if I understand you correctly, that's it. I think we're probably due to wrap it at this point. We're now way over our initial time period, but we're very happy to be way over because it's given us an opportunity to have a conversation with you and dig into some of these questions. We are very interested in continuing the conversation with you, so we will be sending you the video. We'll be sending you a package with links to material as a result of the contact you've had with us. Please feel free to continue the conversation with us directly if you have further questions. You can see the 800 number there on the last slide. That will get you to our general front door. You can talk to a program advisor and to find out more about the programs and ask us anything. The kind of technical questions that you've given us here today are often the kind of technical questions that come up in that general conversation. So feel free to dig in and find out what you need to make it work for you. So we're going to wrap on that today. Thank you for your participation. We look forward to staying in touch with you and answering more questions as you delve deeper into a decision to consider us as a program for you.